I was just trying to...
But then all along the line,
I don't know.
Bingham was able to get Mary Lily to sign a codicil to her will, leaving him $5 million.
Okay.
And then...
But wouldn't he get everything if she died?
No, they'd signed a will to make it to where he was not...
Would only get $5 million.
No.
As opposed to...
Prior to this, it was... He would get nothing besides the $700,000 of standard oil
so he's trying
stock.
to convince...
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was trying to get her to amend her will to leave him $5 million.
Yeah.
And they did this with a lawyer who was another friend of him. So it would...
Why is she letting herself be taken advantage? Like, does she not have any sense?
Well...
I don't think women then did.
I don't
think she needed sense.
The 1980s...
She just needed money.
Miniseries, North and South.
Okay.
That was filmed here in Charleston.
I know, I've heard of it. I've never seen it. I'm sure it's terrible.
I'm going to force you to watch it sometime because you're my friend.
No.
It's amazing, though. One of the characters gets addicted to morphine, and she's just like, oh, everything's wonderful. So, if she was addicted to morphine, then she probably wouldn't have known what the hell she was doing.
Yeah.
After she signed this codicil, leaving him $5 million, she basically just disappeared. Nobody ever saw her again. Meanwhile, Bingham had mounted a political campaign, so he was seen all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, did nobody say to him, hey, where's your wife? Because, you know, that's kind of an important part of political stumping.
So weird.
But then again, maybe they did, and he was like, oh, she's just so sick, she wishes she could be here. He's setting up a really good story. By July, Mary Lily was sedated out of her mind most of the time, and even the 2 nurses hired to attend her were fired because they began to protest the amount of morphine she was receiving.
So he did just marry her for her money.
Did
he end up getting the money when she died?
Well, on July 27th, 1917, Mary Lily went into convulsions and died. Her death certificate listed swelling of the brain and a heart condition as the causes of her death. So a book on the Bingham family was released around 1989, and it asserted that she did have syphilis, and that was why she was being drugged, and that she did most likely get it from Robert Bingham because he had been a womanizer, and that he had undergone several confidential medical treatments by his friend Dr. Ravitch, who was the one who was her doctor. So this is where the fun...
But it doesn't end there.
No, yeah, this is where the fun began.
Yeah.
Soon word was out that there was the $5 million codicil, and Mary Lily's family was pissed. They claimed that people in Louisville
so it was added.
Yeah, it was added. So they claimed that people in Louisville had contacted them about the medical quacks that were attending Mary Lily. They hired a high-priced detective to dig up information on the situation, and he quickly discovered that she had been drugged out of her mind, basically. So the Kennan family challenged the will in court, but then it just seemed to all go away. They said that the local papers sided with Bingham and that the lawyer that the Kennans hired proved to be inadequate for the situation. And so by April 1918, the suit had been dropped, and almost a year to the date of his wife's death, Robert Bingham inherited $5 million.
Wow. We could do another episode because I've got more buildings to talk about.
So Bingham went on to support FDR in his early political campaigns, and as a reward, he was given the post of ambassador to England.
Yeah.
And then Bingham used his ill-begotten gains to put together a pretty spectacular newspaper empire that paid for his, you know...
So in where? In North Carolina or Kentucky?
Louisville.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll beyond Louisville. So there was a little bit of comeuppance in the early 1980s because the empire got to the point where there was a whole bunch of heirs, third generation family members, and so there was so
Flaglers?
No, this is the Bingham family.
Okay.
That there was so much dividing up of everything.
Because presumably he went on to remarry, and he already had 3 children.
Yeah, he already had 3 children.
Did he have more?
I don't think he did. He did remarry again pretty quickly too, but they didn't have.
Well, I guess he would have been 50. Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
He would have, probably
still in his
50.
40s. Oh, by the time he remarried.
Probably, yeah. So there were so many heirs that the empire got chopped up, and it got so bad that they were literally forced to sell. And they ended up selling to the Gannett Publishing Company, which now owns USA Today.
Gannett's it's
pretty much everything. And it was actually Sally Bingham, his granddaughter, who kind of forced the sale, and she firmly believes that her grandfather killed Mary Lily.
Dang.
And so as sort of a payback, I guess, she ended up establishing a scholarship fund named for Mary Lily.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, sort of because she said we wouldn't have had any of this money if it hadn't been for her. So, well, he used that money to buy these newspapers.
On the Flagler side of things, so Whitehall, right? We're just talking about the aftermath of Mary Lily and Robert. So, and we know that Whitehall exists today as the Henry Morrison Flagler Museum, but in 1925, it was converted into a hotel, and they built a tall, like the house was used, but then they built a hotel on the same property next to Whitehall. They built a swimming pool, I believe, and in 1959, the hotel was demolished, all but the first floor, which what I read that it's used for event space now. The swimming pool is gone. So it houses kind of just ancillary spaces for the museum, and staffing probably, but it was Flagler's granddaughter, but it was somebody on the Flagler side that saved Whitehall.
It was Henry Harkness.
Yeah, it was
Flagler's
a Harkness daughter. Yeah. Sure. So right, so his first son's, it was his granddaughter. Okay, that's what I thought. So she's the one that in 1960 made it the Henry Morrison Flagler Museum and opened it to the public. Okay. So it's been a museum for a while, but it's interesting. This
didn't have the makings of a roller coaster, but it turned out to be a little bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Crazy town.
Yeah. So it's a good story, and we could definitely go off on tangents both in Palm Beach and in St. Augustine. And really, I mean, if you want to get into like Standard Oil, we could also get into Rockefellers and Cleveland and Euclid Avenue mansions, but that's, I guess,
we may eventually
for another time.
Yeah, we'll definitely get there at some point. We will be taking a break next week because Adrienne feels the need to go abroad.
I do.
And I'm not going to try to bore you with my single self. So we won't be here next week.
We could FaceTime.
We could. You need to find somewhere scandalous and wherever you're going.
I'm guessing that both Prague and Stuttgart have
scandalous people.
Sure,
you can find some Nazis in Stuttgart.
No thanks.
No thanks. So yeah, join us the week after next. And I don't know, it's looking like Chateau Marmont.
I think so, yes.
In Hollywood, mm-hmm. Yeah. It's that will be probably a really different episode because it's not one single scandal. It's going to be...
I'm guessing that's a two-parter for sure.
A multiple scandals.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
One scandal per room.
Right, exactly. So that should be a lot of fun. And until then, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Scandal Sheets Pod. We also post show notes and resources on our website, scandalsheetspod.com.
More than you can shake a palm frond at.
That's right. Oh, shake a palm frond. Shake a palm frond.
Oh, that should be a drink.
Oh, okay.
More than you can shake a palm frond.
Oh, speaking of drinks.
Because like the hipsters name drinks these days, they have really long, elaborate names for drinks sometimes.
Yeah. And speaking of drinks, we now have a portion of our website devoted to our podcast drinks.
The Side Hustle.
The Side Hustle.
The Velvet Swing.
The Velvet Swing. The Zenith City.
Oh.
I did do that one. So
isn't that just a Fitger's lager?
And it is a lager. That's all it is.
Okay.
And the Satan's Toe, of course. So yeah, if you're a drinker, go check it out.
Or even if you're not.
Check it out.
If you want to make a virgin Satan's Toe or a virgin Velvet Swing. Oh, that doesn't even work.
No, it doesn't work. It's the same way as my mom said, we can make virgin mimosas. I'm like, Mom, that's just orange juice. Oh, I love my mom.
Good try, Mom.
Yeah. So check us out there, and then also subscribe and review us, like us on
FaceTime. No, not that either.
Okay, subscribe and review us at Apple Podcasts /iTunes, although iTunes has been really wonky for Adrian when she's been trying to re-listen.
I don't know how many of you listen on iTunes, but one of the episodes did an odd loop, and it was the one that we talked about cats. So I heard Caroline say, "Yep, cat shit," about 6 times. It was pretty funny. I was like, we do talk about cats a lot, because I kept fast forwarding and I'm like, oh wait, it's looping. We're talking about the same thing
over and over again.
So we're not that bad.
Yeah. So maybe check us if you're listening via your
Try
computer.
On a different
Go to Stitcher,
platform,
iHeartRadio. Those are the 2 desktop.
They don't all not work though, because the Flagler one worked fine.
Yeah.
Part 1.
Right.
Anyway.
But if you're on your phone, definitely Apple Podcasts. There is a Stitcher app. There's an iHeartRadio app, and there is the TuneIn app where we're at them as well. So, and then you can listen to us on our RSS feed, which is hosted at Spreaker.
Nobody knows what that is.
Yeah, I know. Well, I should have done something like Podbean or Blueberry or whatever, one of those weird RSS things.
One of my podcasts is talking about a new podcast platform to try. And I'm like, why do we need another one? There's already too many choices.
Well, I don't know. Speaking of podcasts, what are you listening to?
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you asked, because I did find another one that is really funny. It is called This Sounds Serious. It's essentially a parody of true crime podcasts. It is very funny. I don't even know if it's Gimlet. It's not Gimlet. Let's see. Castbox. Anyway, it's pretty fantastic. Yeah, Castbox.
Okay.
So they chronicle this ridiculous crime and brothers that are, of course, they're from Florida, and so it's a fake journalist. But if you listen to the first one, it kind of gets more ridiculous. I feel like if you hear it, when I first started listening to episode 1, I thought, is this real? Is this not real? But now that I'm farther into it, it's clearly, like, I should have known from the beginning, it's not real. But it's very great. Listen to This Sounds Serious if you like true crime podcasts, but you're also super over them.
I am listening to Hollywood Crime Scene, which
I'm not impressed.
Okay. I appreciate the fact, because...
But you like the subject. So I like the girls. I like their voices. It's just not engaging for me, because I'm not that into what they're talking about. So it's not that I don't like it. I'm just like, I could take it or leave it. But if you like that, I can see how that would be a cool
I guess I was
one
thinking,
to listen to.
Hollywood Crime Scene, all of them would be in Hollywood or LA, and they're not. I think they're based in Hollywood, and so they do
because they talk about LA stuff.
Yeah, the crimes are not necessarily in Hollywood, so. But there are some pretty funny ones. I particularly enjoyed the episode on Lana Turner.
Part of that was pretty funny.
Yeah, their impression of Sean Connery was
really silly,
effing spectacular.
Movie history as well, right?
Yeah, that too. They usually start the podcast off with a talk about whatever true crime docu-series they're watching, so I usually fast forward that because I don't. Although they did give a shout out to Law and Order SVU, and I was like, yes, finally somebody gets Law and Order SVU. It's like my favorite show. So besides Mad Men, which I'm watching for the 85th time all over again, and just wondering how such spectacularness can ever be emulated again. And
this sounds interesting. Speaking of movies, this is a new podcast called Unspooled, a walk through AFI's top 100 movies, and it's got Paul Scheer on it, like Scheer and McBrayer, the comedians.
Don't know that.
Okay, well,
I generally don't.
Jack McBrayer was on 30 Rock. Did you watch 30?
No.
Okay.
I don't watch comedies. I'm morose like that.
Okay, weird.
My parents totally subjected me to Key and
Peele.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're so great.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But I could only take it after
they're so funny.
3 or 4 episodes. I was like, okay, I'm good now.
Yeah, I don't need to binge it. I mean, it's great, but yeah, I don't need to watch.
We have to wrap this up.
We can edit it